There's an old saying, real recognize real, game recognize game. It goes back to the ancient days. They've been saying that forever. But it applies when it comes to NBA players talking about Caitlin Clark, who have never hesitated to show Caitlin Clark love, which is an interesting thing because of the dynamics last year around the WNBA. And sometimes I think, Caitlin got so much of the attention, it led to a little brushback or blowback or people not wanting to crown her early, whatever the case may be. But I think because NBA players are separated from that dynamic, that their league's been popular, their league has been talked about, there was no hesitancy from any of the players who are just looking at it from ball terms, who are just looking at it, yeah, she's the truth. Like that's how it is on the basketball court. It always has been my whole life. As you get out there, somebody may look a certain way, but then they can hoop. And there ain't no more to it after that. And the latest person to show that kind of love to Caitlin Clark, who's done this in the past, was Luka Doncic, who talked about, Caitlin being his favorite WNBA player. He was on Sunday Conversations, and there's just a quick little bit.
Who's your favorite women's basketball player?
Caitlin Clark.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't like Paige Buchers?
No, she's okay. I didn't see her playing in the women's NBA, so.
She just got drafted.
Number 1.
Dallas.
So some people are going to make a big deal out of the Dallas part of that, obviously, and him dissing Paige Buchers because, he left the Mavericks or was traded away from the Mavericks. I still can't believe that happened. His point is fair, though, right? Paige Buchers has not played in the WNBA yet, so we have not seen what she's able to do at the professional level versus we've seen Caitlin Clark dominate at the professional level. And of course, if Luka wanted to get some digs in at Dallas, you would understand that as well. Nothing to do with Paige Buchers. This is what Luka had said about Caitlin Clark in the past, by the way. So it wasn't the first time that he showed her love. And of course, he was on the Mavericks at this point.
It's a woman with Steph Curry. She can shoot it better than me.
So there you go. Luka on Caitlin Clark back then when he was still on the Mavericks. It's still odd that he's in a Lakers jersey. It's tough to even come to terms with sometimes. But I mentioned her dominating. Remember when Cheryl Swoops had sort of questioned whether she was dominating? And then you had DeJounte Murray, another NBA player, say this. She's not dominating, all the laughing emojis after you saw the records that Caitlin Clark compiled as a rookie in her first year in the WNBA. And then there was Victor Wembanyama. The list goes on and on. There's so many different great players from the league who have just said awesome things about CeCe. Wembanyama, this was an older clip too, shared by the NBA.
Victor, who's a WNBA player that inspires you, and what makes her stand out to you?
I think Caitlin Clark.
Finds Clark from the logo. Clark behind the back. Oh, it's Smith with the finish.
When she was in college, the only college player that I was really in awe of the game,
Pulls it back, knocks it down.
I'm saying men and women's college basketball. She's probably the most impressive I've seen.
Clark, step back, hits a three.
And there you go. That was shared by the San Antonio Spurs. Adam Silver has shared Caitlin Clark, photos when he's been with her and all that. It's just a love fest from the NBA players about Caitlin Clark. And that goes for LeBron James, too, who notably high haters. I think before he had said, if you don't like Caitlin Clark, you're simply a hater. And LeBron understands that almost more than anybody, I would say, because of his penchant for being dissected and having everything he does scrutinized. It's a little different than the way it was for Caitlin, but similar in a certain sense. And then there's Steph Curry, who she's also been compared to. And by the way, shout out to Clark's season on X for all of these clips that I've been able to gather.
Been very complimentary in the past about Caitlin Clark. She's on the verge of breaking the scoring record. I mean, do you see any comparisons in the way she shoots to your people compared to the way you two shoot? Do you see anything?
I saw somebody break down the release time, which is pretty much identical to mine. And then her just confidence. You can't help but watch when she plays, where she's shooting from, the range, the confidence. the flair. Like, she's a performer. It's crazy though, just because her shot it's like that. It's at that level. If you really watch, like her floor game is as impressive. So it's kind of the total package. And her being the friends of breaking that record and the amount of attention that she has gained over the course of these last couple of years. Every building she goes into is a different energy. Like, it's great for her, great for women's basketball.
That's an older clip, but Curry clearly a ball knower. I love the fact that he pointed out her floor game at that point in time, because everybody just jumped to the shooting. And obviously the shooting parallels with Steph Curry makes sense, of course, duh. And Steph Curry captivated people with his shooting when he was in college and then on into the pros. And there was that logo 3 aspect of Caitlin Clark's game. But when I've compared her to NBA players in the past, there is that bit of Curry. You have to include that. LeBron James is actually, I think, a pretty good comparison too, offensively at least, when it comes to all-around impact, being that engine. That's sort of Luka too, but finishing at the rim the way she does, spraying it out as a passer the way she does, just being that engine of the offense. A lot of Steve Nash in Caitlin Clark's game. When I'm just talking like visual at times, that may be the best comparison. And then there's a little Jason Kidd with those outlet passes. So it's a pretty good cocktail of players I just named there. But it's always been interesting to me that the NBA players have been so unshy to show the love. And I think part of that dynamic is, yes, again, that league has had the attention for the longest time since Bird, Magic, and Jordan, versus the WNBA was fighting for attention. And then all of a sudden she got all this attention, and that caused it, some friction, I guess you could say. Hopefully that's all behind us. I'm not trying to revisit old topics or anything like that, especially with training camp having started off for the Indiana Fever. They've officially arrived at training camp. The team sharing videos. All of that is, we're going to start getting WNBA content finally, new WNBA content. But that Luka quote was literally from today. So I thought it was worth sharing. And here are the Fever girls arriving for camp, if anyone hasn't seen that clip as of yet.
Beep, 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 beep. Let's go, day one. I got DB, I got the best day in the world, y'all. I got the best day in the world. Liddy, excited. Day one, I'm excited. Let's go. It's go time. Go Fever.
Excited. Ready to see what happens.
Pretty good. Ready to get started. Let's do this. Come on. I feel like a ray of sunshine.
I feel great. I'm really excited, and I know it's gonna be a lot of hard work. What up, everyone? No? Okay. I thought you were gonna go.
There you go. So, a lot of love in the building, and Caitlin Clark gets some love from Luka Doncic.